very evening. Hey, Peggy. Now, wait a minute. We've had this conversation, Peggy. I don't even know if I can find it. I'm gonna have to get it. We've had this conversation. We call this meeting of the Hamblen County Legislative Body Committee meetings to order on this fine January 13th, 2025. Ask that all commissioners please make sure that your mics are on, your phones are off, and let's proceed in a very civil matter. First of all, I'll call on Chairman Tim Horner with the Jail and Justice Center Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll call the Justice Center Public Safety Committee to order. If there's anyone wishing to address, may do so at this time. You're allowed 3 minutes. Seeing none. Item 3, old business. There is none. Item 4, Justice Center project update. Jaron Dowater, Burwell Construction.
Happy New Year.
Good evening. Happy New Year.
Can't believe the month is already halfway gone. The New Year. Just waiting on some photos to show here. We'll go through the project status and where we're at today. Looking at that, I'll go over contractual obligations on this. Substantial completion is still striving for April. Contract value is set at $95,066,230.11. Total completed to date, as of this last pay application we just received, is at $92,793,932.11, putting it at 97.61%. There's still about $1,399,000 of materials stored that are being integrated into the project. I think we're up. Very good. So, thank you. Oh, as we go through all this, just wanted to point out a few things. There's some bollard covers that are being placed and set. All of these will look exactly like that. They were over there pre-fitting these and making sure they have a great fit as they're going through there. I just wanted to show the ceilings in the main entrance to the court section there. Above ceiling inspections will be taking place over the next couple of weeks, where they'll be finishing it up and closing in a lot of the courtroom areas. Bathrooms, all fixtures are done and complete. Again, this is that front entrance. It doesn't show up too well. I wish we had a a higher resolution here, but very, very beautiful finishes. You can see the soundboards that are in place up here. You've got the different window fixtures that are in place as well, the shades that'll come down. Those are all in place as well. Yeah, the courtroom, this just does not do it justice. Pardon the pun, I didn't even mean to use the pun there.
Yeah, you did.
But absolutely gorgeous. Finish work, the millwork is mostly complete. They're just doing touch-up and finishes. As flooring is going in, you can see the wall coverings are in place there for just lessening the sound. Above ceiling inspections again will be taking place and closing all of that up. Juror's box, you can see it's hard to see, but the glass that is in place there. We've got the flooring starting to go in around it and getting it all finished. Oh, that's not the best picture there, but that's actually the elevator system for bringing inmates up into the jail center itself. So they're starting to work on that and finish that out. Big heavy doors, security doors. This is it going into each of the pods. There's one of these or any of the different corridors that we have. Massive, massive structure to be placed in there. They just got those finished since the last time I got out there. It was impressive to see that go in. On the site, security fencing still going in. You can't see them, but there's people back in this space that are actually setting the netting that's on there, the fabric that goes across the front there, the actual chain link fence itself. And from that main street right through here, you can see the big gates that are getting placed in as well. This is just to show you this might be tilted as well, but that's looking up in one of the main electrical rooms, and you can see the amount of conduit that's placed. Very, very impressive. The different pods, I did have some other pictures showing the various levels of completeness. It didn't make it into the pictures here, but this is the upper levels. They're finishing going from the first, second, and then to the third. This is the third. There's no ceiling grid in place yet. They're still doing some overhead. Mechanical, electrical, plumbing things that need to be roughed in and finalized. Electrical being the most, the one that needs to get moving the most on our end. Fixtures are being placed, security fixtures being placed on the exterior side again. Concrete's been placed for various sidewalks. This is a common sight from Idaho, where I'm from, where you're seeing them blanketing everything to keep it from cooling too quickly. So that was poured recently, and they have blankets on there. They're doing more finish work today, which will be blanketed for the cold. Gives you a quick update of where we're at. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Maybe it's the picture that had those posts, yes, or that one. How far around the hole do those things go? And how far apart are they?
They're probably 4 to 5 feet apart. I don't know an exact, but this structure, I did show in a previous one what it looked like below to hold all of this in place. So the structure that's there, the foundations that are in there are massive. Those bollards are massive bollards full of concrete, and the substructure is just a massive system there. So it goes to the end here, and it'll, on the other side, it doesn't show here, but the other side, on this side, it stops to about the corner of this initial section right here.
Now,
What you were asking?
yes, sir, but I'm glad they're massive. 4 or 5 feet, how wide is a truck? No, I mean, that goes like this. Yeah.
We'd split the middle.
It would hit one of those.
The truck is about 8
Yes.
feet wide, 7
Okay.
feet wide.
So, while we're at it, you didn't want to put some more all the way around, kind of? In other words, that's just in the front, right?
That's just at the front, going into the main Justice Center
Yeah.
section, yes.
Okay,
The rest is secured. It's got security fencing.
Okay.
Security gates.
okay. All righty, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
What do you do when you take them out to clean them and don't get it back in, and then you have a big football game down there and somebody goes through there and wipes out New Orleans? They weren't there then. What do you do about that? Does those come out?
One more time, I wasn't following, sir, I'm sorry.
I thought it on New Orleans, you know,
Yes.
they had the ball game, and a guy come through there with a truck and wiped them out. Wiped out a lot of stuff and killed a lot of people. But come to find out, a lot of the barriers, well, that kind of go down in the ground and then come up, and they weren't working.
Yeah, these are permanent. They're not going down and up. These are permanent.
Good time.
Anyone else? Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Horner. Appreciate it. Move on now to our Finance Committee. Welcome back Chairman Rodney Long. Looking well. I hope he's feeling well. Mr. Long, if you'll take over.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to say, I want to thank everybody on the commission and other offices. Excuse me. Now I've got it gone. For your prayers, phone calls, texts, they were greatly appreciated. And just glad to be back.
Glad to have you back.
Call the Finance Committee to order. Is there anyone wishing to address this committee on agenda items only? You have 3 minutes. Seeing none, item number 3 is your expenditure reports and your monthly checks. Number 4, we do not have any old business, so we'll move to number 5, new business. Our first one will be 5A, recommendations from the Opioid Abatement Committee. County Mayor Chris Cutshaw, please.
Yes, before you is, first off, before you is recommendations that come from the Hamblen County Opioid Abatement Committee, which is comprised of several members here in the community, plus some guidance from UT initiative called SMART, and it's people that are involved in this. But this money that has come to our county, the Opioid Abatement Committee has decided to go through a grant process in order to let funds out. So they've applied to the committee. The committee has taken these applications and reviewed them, and they have finalized the first round of need. And they're before you. It's $85,000 to Breath of Life Ministries Men's Home, $10,000 to the Hamblen County Substance Abuse Coalition, and $67,140 to Stepping Out. And each of these applications, they laid out their needs and what they would be using them for. They will be accountable for these measures, but the opioid committee brings this to this commission asking for approval to move forward with this.
Is there any questions? If not, do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Reed. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Ahern. Having a first and second, we'll vote the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll move now to item B, is a budget amendment from the Hamblen County Department of Education. Jared Ladd, Supervisor of Business. We have one item, is the Hamblen County Department of Education Budget Amendment number 5, the increase of $918,152.95. Mr. Ladd?
Good evening. So this is really broke down into 4 parts. The first piece is adding 2 English second language learner teachers. That is to get us back to the state mandated level. We've had an influx of second language The next one is to add 2 teacher's assistants and a contracted RBT, behavioral technician, just to address and try to get in front of some behavior disorders. Next on the list is the insurance proceeds. We received the insurance proceeds for the Russellville roof repair, and we also had a claim for laptops at West High School. And finally, in the CTE, we have an ISM grant that we moved some funds around for state mandate, and we also are moving some other funds for, we had planned to have a career exploration trailer that we're no longer going to purchase, so we're moving that over to a classroom expansion at West High School. Do we have any questions?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Howe?
Yes, sir, thank you. Explain that last one, kind of expand on that. What do you mean? You were gonna have a trailer, now it's in the classroom, or what?
Yeah, I don't have all the details on the
Okay.
trailer, but they were gonna have a trailer that would have different stations in it, such as welding or
Okay.
different vocational type
Yes, sir.
things. Mr. Bunch is partnered with ORNL,
Ah,
and fortunately, they have something similar that we've been able to use, so we no longer really need to spend that money.
okay.
So what they're wanting to do is move one of the walls at West High School, add 4 classes to the CTE sector of the.
Okay, very good. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ms. Green?
Yes, sir. Quick question. You noted English as a second language. What percentage do you think you've got right now?
For ESL, we have 2,015 kids.
And what percentage of new are you expecting in?
That would be hard to say, but that percent is about 20% right now.
Is that what it usually is when new ones come into play, sir?
It keeps on getting bigger. I think in the month of January so far, I think that we've added 7 new families, I think it was, 8 or 10 students just in January.
With it, I'm assuming then by that, each time we start a new year, it increases quite a bit.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Those students, ESL students, a lot of them come in after school starts. They're not there when school starts. Right? This money's already been approved, right? You're redirecting it to other areas.
Mr. Harville?
The 2 ESL teachers, in order to maintain state mandated stuff, are these included in the TISA formula?
They will be next year, so TISA is a year behind, so we expect.
Always.
Yeah, we expect next year TISA to fund this position. Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Seeing none, do I hear a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Doty is first. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Walker. Having a first and second, we'll vote the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Mr. Chair. We will now move to item C, Resolution 25, the resolution before the County Commission of Hamblen County, Tennessee, 2024, homeowner rehabilitation East Tennessee Disaster Recovery Grant application. County Mayor Cutshaw, will you please?
Absolutely. So before you, this is a resolution that's in this commission to approve for a grant application. We are one of 8 counties that were declared a federal disaster, and from that, there is monies out there that will be allocated to go back to need. And this county is recognized by the Tennessee Housing Authority agent as one of those counties, and therefore they have found under declaration for individual assistance. Therefore, Hamlin County understands that this request can be no less than $250,000 and up to $1 million that can help families here in our county. There is no match on this money. So this mayor's office would like to ask that this body approve that we apply for this grant.
Is there any questions? Seeing none, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Ahern, second by Mr. Huntsman. Having a first and second, vote to motion. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. You'll notice number 6, that's an item of interest for items for you all to look at and go over. And Mr. Chairman, that's all I have. Thank you.
Chairman Long, before you
Yes.
change over, I have one question about number 6, please, if you would.
Yes.
Mr. Katz's bills, the attorneys, I was noticing through them, and there was one that had 6.35 as for the hours, and the amount was $1,111.25, and it was for 12/3/24. I'd like to ask Mr. Capps, that's exceedingly higher than we usually have. I'm just curious as to what it is.
Well, that'd be a lawsuit filed over, Open Records Act, if I recall, Mr. Chairman, by, Ms. Noe,
On 12/3?
responding to the lawsuit. Researching motions, preparing motions, and, yes, ma'am.
So that's open records and nothing else?
Yes, ma'am. That's your lawsuit.
Mr. Chairman, that's all I have at this time.
Thank you, Chairman Long. Moving on, excuse me, to the Personnel Committee. Call on Chairman Thomas Doty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I call the Personnel Committee meeting to order. If there anyone wishing to address this committee, may do so now. Let me go back just one second. It's not just Open Records, it's on the Road Commission, it's that Road Commission suit that you all filed,
No.
so you know.
I'm sorry, one more time, so I can hear you, please. I apologize, I was listening to you instead of him, I apologize.
It's on the Road Commission suit and the Open Records Act suit and not the Open Records Act, but the violation of Open Meetings Act that's been alleged, as well as the Road Commission.
So am I to understand Hamblen County is paying for an attorney
Absolutely.
to
You're
defend them,
exactly
to
right.
keep the money they
You're
took
exactly
for
right.
missed meetings, illegal payments?
You're exactly right. The whole lawsuit involves about 4 or 5 different causes of action, which aren't just about the Road Commission. So it's a county lawsuit, and those are the hours that are billed, okay?
But that lawsuit was only filed against them, not the county, sir. My God, unbelievable.
Right about that.
Point of order.
Unbelievable. Thank you, sir, for the clarification.
Mr. Doty?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Seeing none, we will move forward with old business. We have none. New business, we have one item, which is approval of the military pay submission. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion, Mr. Bell. Do I have a second? Second, Mr. Horner. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, call for the vote. All in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Doty. Moving on to the Public Services Committee. Call on Chairman Mike Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Call this committee meeting to order. Any visitor wishing to talk about agenda items can do so at this time. You'll have 3 minutes. Seeing none, we'll go on to item 3. Old business, we have none. Item 4A, Election Commission Convenient Vote Centers. Item 1A1, Resolution 25. I'll read that real quick. General Assembly, this is a resolution supporting the application for designation of a vote center as Vote Center County. Whereas the General Assembly of the State of Tennessee has enacted legislation authorizing the establishment of convenient voting centers in certain counties of Tennessee. And whereas Hamblen County Election Commission desires to apply for designation as one of the counties in which such a vote center may be established, now therefore be it resolved that the members of the Hamblen County Legislative Body hereby request that Hamblen County be included as one of the Tennessee counties authorized to establish convenient voting centers by legislation in the 114th General Assembly. Mr. Gardner, will you explain this to us, please?
What it is, convenient voting centers, where you typically have 16 voting precincts on election day, we will cut that down to about 6, and they will be one on each end of the county and 2 inside the city of Morristown. And what it would be set up like early voting. You can show up to any of those, one of those voting centers and vote. If you live in town and work in town and you live in Whitesburg or somewhere, during lunch you want to pop over and vote on election day, you just go to a vote center. And it's a real time, it'll be hooked up to our mainframe, so it's a real time access. So, you know, if you go vote at one place and you go, well, I'm gonna go over here and see if I can vote again, you won't be able to do it because of the system will not allow you to do it. It is a pilot program. My commission back in November voted and passed to proceed with this. With the state, they would like support of the legislative body in the county, also the 2 representatives and the senator. I have spoken with them. They are good with proceeding with this. We're starting early because there is some infrastructure that we're going to have to do. One of the things is that any site we use is going to have a hardwire internet system. And a VPN, which is virtual private network, which the county has, and we hope we can use that to cut down on any infrastructure cost with VPNs. Looking at it, cutting down the precincts, going to cut tentatively on 3 elections during 1 year, we spend about $45,000 to $46,000 in employment. Doing the vote centers, we believe we can cut that to about $25,000. And there are other counties in the state. Off the top of my head, Wilson County, Rutherford County, Wheatley County. Washington County is going to it, but they had some issues for 25 because they wanted to do it this year and had some infrastructure at some of the sites they wanted to use. So they're pushing it to 26. But any questions that you have?
Ms. Howe,
You
ladies
said you're
first.
doing this to save money?
Well, we're doing it for convenience to the voter, but also with that, it will cut the cost of our election day workers.
Because our voting in the county and our voting in the city is down lower than it's ever been percentage-wise. And reading on in here, you made a statement that people coming in from county could just go vote anywhere they wanted to.
They can, if you work in
And that they might miss a chance to vote. How many people have you had to miss that 8 o'clock curfew?
you know,
Any?
they don't tell us.
Huh?
I mean, we have no clue of who comes in late and misses a deadline at 8
The
o'clock.
polls don't say, well, we had, Joe Gibson showed up, but it was 1 minute after 8.
No, at 8 o'clock, those people have been there for 13 hours.
I understand
They
that.
really,
Ready to run for the door.
they don't care.
So if you're in the 3rd district, for instance, you vote at East High School, but you can vote anywhere you want to now.
Right. If we go to this, yes.
District, so you're not, in the past, you've had to vote in that, like District 3 was West High School, you couldn't vote anywhere else. And a lot of people didn't get to, you know, they come there and say, well, it actually is in District 4. They'd have to get in the car and run over to Lincoln.
Right, and it will stop that. Anybody can vote, let's just say Union Heights. for instance, if you was coming down the interstate and you was pushing 8 o'clock and you couldn't get to Whitesburg or Fairview Marguerite, you could stop off at Union Heights, go in, tell them you want to do it, to vote, and the systems would be set up. If you've seen it early voting, all the precincts are listed in early voting. That's the way it would be at these vote centers. So if they're in the 6th and they come in the 10th, which is Union Heights, they'll just kick them up. It'll print off on the application. It'll print off the 6th that they can vote there.
So if you could show up and vote it at Manley then.
If
I'm
that's-
down
we've
next to
not
Manley, I could
nailed
just go to
down-
Manley and vote.
We've not nailed down all the locations yet because it's kind of, it's not good business to talk to somebody and not knowing that you're going to do it yet. So the deal with the law is that any place that gets taxpayer funding, we can use. So we're looking at different locations throughout town that we could possibly use. You know, we have Manley and Manley, the 5th and 14th side by side. We have Alpha and Alpha, 12th, 13th side by side. We have Russellville.
Whitesburg.
Well, yeah, but Russellville and Russellville, we use both schools, so they're side by side. So
That's,
there's some overlap there. And we have, you know, 3 precincts that struggle to get a good turnout. So we're hoping this would, hoping it will increase voter turnout. Going back to the November election, we had 25,660-something voters. Pretty much 70% of those people voted early absentee. We had 7,800 show up on election day. So we're looking at maybe spurring the election day turnout.
have you looked at the general public, the people that actually vote, to see what they think about this?
The ones I've talked to have really liked the idea. But with the state and the way the law reads, one of the things we would do would have a meeting and open it up to the public
Before they implement it, okay.
Ms. Al?
Oh, thank you, sir. So I really appreciate early voting. And so it would be like early voting situation where you show your license and they find you in the computer. But it would be at 5 other locations. I'm liking it. So, okay, thank you, sir.
Mr. Long?
Question I've got, Mr. Garner, if you live, for instance, in the 8th district, and you're gonna have 6 locations, right? So is the candidate gonna have to work all 6 locations?
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, you got some candidates have to work 2 locations.
Well, I understand that, but that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
And then the other question is, how hard is it to switch that over when you walk in? You say it's like early voting, so if a candidate from the 8th district walks in, one from the 10th, one from the 12th, how long does it take for that machine to switch over to that district?
It doesn't, it's just a button you push. 'Cause
Okay.
they're on, it'll be like early voting for 16 selections, and every vote center would have the 16 selections. So they would just look at it and say, oh, he's in the 10th, hit 10th, here's your paper, go vote.
Jeff, you won't be able to get an accurate reading like District 8 anymore.
Yeah, you will.
Well, what if those people live in District 8 voted over at your call center, it's located at Whitesburg?
It's just like early voting. We early vote here, we early vote at Holston
It will
election.
show, it will show where they voted, yeah.
At any point during the day during early voting, I can put up number 2, which is, number 2 is our satellite office. And I can tell you who's voted there, what precinct they're voting from. I mean, up there we had during the presidential, I think we voted every 16 precincts up there.
So changing the rule like District 4, You don't have to vote in that district anymore.
No, but you would still be counted in that district.
Okay.
How can you count them when they don't vote in that district?
Computer does it.
The system, because in our system, Wayne Neesmith says District 4. If you go to 10, you know, or you go to Union Heights and vote, when it comes to my computer, it breaks you out because you're in the 4th district. It'll break out everybody in that 4th district that voted.
Any other questions? Ms. Green?
You made a remark to start with, and maybe I misunderstood about that you couldn't go somewhere else and vote again. Have you had that to happen in the past out of curiosity?
Not since I've been here since
I was just curious. You perked my interest when you came across it, so.
It's always a possibility when you do it the way we have. Even with our poll pads, they're not hooked up to the internet, so, you know.
Will that change? I know when I ran the last time, they were able to tally the votes at that particular area before we left for the day. So I'm assuming it will be the same with this, which may just provide a quicker response.
It's very good, yes. And especially getting the results out as well.
Will it, for lack of a nicer word, the last time that I ran, they had to recount the votes 3 times because they were a little bit shocked, to say the least of the matter. Will that improve that any?
I mean, on the machines on election day, there's no recounting nothing. What's there is there.
Okay.
The only thing we do when we tally cards in the machine, and we run them to tally off on our computer for the unofficial results, we match every machine to the number that comes up on our system.
Okay.
But there's no, by state law, we can't recount it.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
Mr. Doty?
Jeff,
Mine's not a question, it's just a statement. As you were mentioning, using the Holston Electric, my mother's 86. She used it this last year and loved it. It's much more convenient. You don't have to go to one central place. You can pick something that's closer to your home. A lot of her friends used the different ones, and they said it was one of the best voting experiences they had just because of the ease of access. It's not having to go to a specific place on a specific day. You had 6, this time too, but you'll have 6 different locations. They can pick something and go.
The biggest complaint we had this past November was handicap parking. We were kind of in awe of how many people who get out that have some disability that gets out and vote. And, you can ask them, well, you can do an absentee. I don't want to do that. I won't vote. So we could use 20 handicap parking places out here.
Ms. Ahern?
Sir, I just wanted to thank you for the idea. Whoever idea this is, I just think it's excellent. When I read that thinking, oh, I can go anytime. If I forget early voting, I can still go anytime. I think convenience is the word. I think, I just think it's excellent. So thank you for whoever brought up that idea.
Okay, so we've had plenty of
Go ahead.
Mr. Bell?
Go ahead.
You've already spoken. Mr. Bell, go
I'm
ahead.
just going to say, this is an extension of the outreach or the out center at Holston Electric, and so to me, it's going to enhance the whole system.
Okay, thank you. Everybody's had a chance to speak.
I
at
got
least
another
once.
chance to ask him.
One more time.
I mean, this is a pretty big issue.
No, we've been
We
discussing
need to
this.
discuss it.
Go ahead.
I voted in District 4, but I decided I'm down around Mountie, I can vote there. Is the paperwork gonna get put in real accurate to tell that I've done voted, or can I run over at Russellville and vote again?
Our computer system has green, yellow, and red dots. And it shows up on even at Russellville.
When I vote?
Yes. On our system, it's green. If you've got an absentee ballot, it's yellow. But as soon as you vote, your dot goes red. So
What'll this be for the city?
Well, since they moved to November, it'll just be,
Regular? The city's not changing.
no, nothing to that, since they moved their elections to November general election. It'll just be added in on the, voting system.
Thank you. Okay, I'm through.
Ms. Green, one more.
Just a compliment, my mother's 89. Jens accommodated her because she could barely get around, let her straight in to sit down and vote, and I appreciate that. At her age, it was a blessing for me, so thank you.
Okay, thank you. Everybody else clear? Okay, so do we have a motion for this?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Howe, do we have a second?
Second.
Who was that? Mr. Bell? Okay, so we have a first and a second. Let's vote the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say,
Mr. Bell isn't on the
I'm sorry, Mr.
Public
Bell.
Service Committee.
Mr.
sorry, I
Harville.
apologize.
You
I'll-
did, Mr.
I'll
Harville did
second,
say,
yeah.
okay, I'm sorry. Mr. Harville, the second on that, so we,
Spoke up, yeah.
are we good? We vote again? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the like sign. Motion carries. Okay, item 4B, Resolution 25, a resolution to amend the zoning map of Hamblen County, Tennessee, rezoning District 4, tax map 013, parcel 022.00, 200 Silver City Road, Whitesburg, Tennessee, 37891, from A1 to C1. Tommy, would you like to address that?
See, Ms. Matthews isn't here, if, okay with the commission, I'll answer those. 200 Silver City Road, the owner of the property bought it at tax sale and has cleaned it up. It was a mobile home park. He wishes to place a boat, camper, and storage units on the property. That's why he wants it zoned commercial. There's commercial zoning in front of it, the dollar store's there, Whitesburg Market. Ms. Matthews recommended to the commission that they pass the resolution.
All right. Do we have a motion? Got a motion by Mr. Long. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Ahern. Any discussion? No discussion. Let's vote the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the like sign. Motion carries. Okay, resolution, or 4C, Resolution 25, a resolution to amend the zoning map of Hamblen County, Tennessee by rezoning District 03, tax map 017N, parcels 001.00 and 002.00, 2875 Reed's Chapel Road, Morristown, Tennessee, 37814, from R1 to A1. Tommy.
This property has been a store for many years. I think they have come in front of the commission for their beer license. I think the county commission had requested that the property be rezoned from R1 to an A1, therefore allowing it to have a market there. In other words, this market was there before zoning regulations ever took place in Hamblen County. So the planning commission went ahead and spoke with the owners, and we are asking that, or the county commission is also asking that the property be rezoned from a R1 to a A1 so that they will be within the regulations.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Make a motion.
Mr. Walker, have a second?
Second.
Mr. Harville, have a second. Any discussion? If none, let's vote the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the like sign. Motion carries. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Richardson. We'll move now to Chairman Tim Horner of the Bulk Waste Study Committee. Mr. Horner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll call the Bulk Waste Study Committee to order. Anyone wishing to address may do so at this time. You'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Laura Williams. I live at 1160 Woodwind Drive in Talbot. And the last time I was at the meeting, I was able to go through some of my points, but I wasn't able to finish. But basically, again, I just want to mention, be clear that I'm not talking about, I realize the bulk waste has gotten behind because of the storm, but I think we've had an issue with the bulk waste for years. It's been a concern of mine. And I'm here because I just want to appeal to the leaders in my community that maybe we can work together to fix this, because I think the service is a wonderful service, but it just can't keep up with the amount of junk that's being put out there. And I'm not talking about brush. I mean, brush is fine. It is all of the furniture and all these things. And I mentioned before about the safety concerns I had, as well as the health concerns, and then, of course, the aesthetic concerns. And so what I really want to focus on trying to make a solution, because I think we can fix this. And last time I talked to Tim, I've talked to Mike and to Tim, and there's several different places that have different ideas. The city of Knoxville has a nice system set in place, but it seems like in this county there's not really any standards. People are just putting stuff out whenever they want, how often they want, as much as they want, and whatever they want. And it's piles, so you can't even tell what's in the pile. So it could be a lot of toxic stuff, and the workers can't see what's under it. So I thought, like, if we could work out a plan where we come up with a set of standards, and I can volunteer. I'm here to volunteer my services and help. But I think we need standards that are clear, like what's allowed to be set out and what's not allowed, how much is allowed to be set up. Like in Knoxville, they only allow 3 to 5 items at a time. So then the workers can see what's out there, and how often this stuff can be set out, and how it's organized. So it's not just a pile, so they can't see what's there. And then, of course, to educate the residents of the community and enforce the standards. So that's kind of a general outline, and I know there's logistics that would have to be worked through, but, you know, I just think it's important for us to talk about it, because, you know, I feel, frankly, I feel sometimes like I'm living in the slums, because my neighborhood is full of junk all the time. And the big truck will come, I call it the big truck. The bulk waste truck will come and pick it up. Next day, people have got stuff out there. So it's like, it's junky. And I think there's health and safety issues. So that's my piece.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name is Gwendolyn Holden. I live at 8150 West Point Drive. I agree with this lady. I don't put out bulk waste. I don't like it. I never have. I miss clean. I even told God if it's going to be nasty in heaven, I didn't want to come. That's just how clean I am. I know, like this lady said, there can be a solution. There needs to be one. Hamblen County, and I've lived here all my life. And when I was a kid growing up, my papa and us, we took our garbage to the dump. We didn't live too far from it. It was out in Road Junction, where it always has been. And that needs a good cleaning up. I'll say it till I'm dead. I kept my area clean, and I was proud of my area. I pay taxes, and I've got a right to say how I feel. Worked all my life, and I believe, like the Bible says, be a good steward of the land. I don't know why people want to put that stuff out. I guess because they don't have any other alternative. I don't know. I don't do it because I don't want to. But we need to work on cleaning up Hamblen County, and not just certain areas, but ALL, all of Hamblen County. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? If not, item 3A, old business, there is none. Item 4A, the bulk waste update, Tommy McKinney, Codes Enforcement Officer.
Chairman, Commission. We are 16 months into the bulk waste regulations. Until September the 26th, we seemed to be making some pretty good headway at getting the message out there as to what we can and cannot place at the roadside. But Helene has changed that quite considerably, as everybody here knows. As of September the 26th to date, there has been almost 18,000 cubic yards collected of brush and rubbish, which is tremendous. Our highway department has worked tirelessly to get this done. It's a lot for them to have to do. They are burning this, by the way, in case any of you didn't know yet. They are in the process of getting rid of the debris. During the declaration of emergency, all the waste has been picked up due to the fact that any kind of determination as to whether or not it was wind-related, whatever, it was picked up. The debris, the brush, everything. The declaration will cease on the 24th. I think me and Commissioner Richardson had discussed that earlier today. I just wanted to be kind of informed on what was going on, and we also spoke to George Lawson, who is the supervisor of the guys that pick up the waste. At that point, we will be issuing letters, and if we do not have anybody to comply, we will be going back to issuing citations as well. Commissioner Richardson and the bulk waste chair, Mr. Horner, as well as, Commissioner Green and others agree that we need to somehow better inform the public than what we've been doing so far. Our can stickers, they're fading away. You can't even read them. According to George, I think we've got 35,000 cans that those guys collect garbage from. We can't put stickers on all of those. It's not financially feasible. Those guys have to get off the truck, dump the garbage, get back on, and get gone. They don't have time to put stickers on all of them, and all the stickers haven't been placed on them. We need, I feel like, being the enforcer of the regulation, that we do need to send out maybe a mailer. We need to post it on our website for sure, which I am working on, but I'm short-handed right now. But we are working to look at posting it on our website. And maybe on our Facebook page. We need to get the word out there even more so of what can and can't be placed at the road. So basically, that's what I would like for us as a county to look towards to see what we could do about further informing the public. And that's all I have right now. Any questions from anybody?
Yes, sir. What about the radio, CRK, AM and FM?
To explain the regulation, maybe if we could have somebody say on the radio, please go to here or there.
Sure. I just know that.
Look at the website, something to throw it out there. We just need.
A public announcement.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, ma'am. I agree with that.
Well, just to put it out there, I know you have staff members that do that, and a lot of people are not comfortable speaking on the radio.
Right.
I'll be happy to volunteer for you.
Right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? Ms. Green?
Mr. McKinney, did I understand you correctly? Right now, they're picking up everything, couches, furniture, and all?
Yes, ma'am.
And that will be till the 25th? 24th?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that on your Facebook page to let people know this?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
I don't put stuff on the Facebook page. That's not.
But it would be a good way to get it out.
Yes, ma'am, I
And I
agree.
certainly agree. We failed in doing that because I have fielded a lot of questions from folks that did not understand why this or why that? And I'll be brutally honest. I'm a member of this commission, and I got surprised because I put a dust bag in a garbage can that we weren't allowed to put one in. So we do need a better education mode than what we've got now.
I agree.
Most older folks do not take the paper because you don't get that much in it anymore. I take it strictly for business and make no bones about that, but there just isn't that much in it. We need to find a way to get it out so that citizens will know what's expected. If you don't know, you can't comply.
Ms. Howard?
Yes, sir, thank you. So, a scary letter is what got my attention. I had a place, not where we live, but anyway, and the tenant had put out tons. And the scary letter appeared in the mailbox, and man, I ran over there and said, can't be doing that. And, but I worry about, as in your case, if here's a house and here's a house and here it comes, here's the pile, who gets the scary letter, you know? Or maybe they both need it. Maybe they're both, I don't know, but,
The way most regulations are handled as far as all of our regulations, zoning and property maintenance, it's the property owner that gets the letter.
good,
regardless.
okay, yes, sir. Okay, because I understand that sometimes it's kind of like, now how did that, we must have left something and it grew overnight, you know, why?
That happens too.
Yeah.
Quite often.
Thank you, sir, thank you. Mr. Horner, thank you.
Anyone else?
I have an additional question.
Ms. Green?
Down where I'm at, a lot of times people dump stuff. Now, no disrespect intended, Mother's 89. They dump it on Mom's property, Mom's gonna get the letter. Do you have anything in place to work out with folks that are older that get that situation happen?
Just
Because
about every time somebody calls me and tells me, or replies and tells me that they didn't dump it there, I believe them.
what do you do?
Because it happens that people see a pile and they stop and dump theirs on top of it.
Yeah.
It happens all over the county. So,
How do you handle it?
most of the time, they take care of it anyway.
But if you get one that's dumped and let's say they didn't have anything there, they didn't do it, they still have to take care of it, sir?
Okay, I see what you're saying. Then I discuss it with George, his guys, and I'll say I've made an assertion of it, and it was dumped on them. They didn't dump it there. I believe him. He'll pick it up.
Okay, that's what I'm wanting to know, thank you.
I think we do have access to maybe cameras later on for troubled spots where people,
We do have
Oh,
2 or
okay.
3 of those,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman. We do have those, definitely.
Right.
Actually with a sign there, and they're still putting it there.
yeah.
Amen.
A community dump site, so to speak. Yes.
Mr. Cox?
And I'll have to say something on that, you know, Tommy, and I think I worked with Tommy some on it, we had that bad spot in front of Hookers and Hunters in my district. And luckily, with people that were calling us that were complaining, we actually got a person that called us and was seeing the people that were dragging the trash from Hookers and Hunters over there, got Tommy pictures of it, where Tommy actually could go to them at Hookers and Hunters, and they actually cleaned all that up. And since then, I don't think we've had, somewhat, but not as bad as it was for the long.
Across the street, I've not seen
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Across the street unless the highway department.
Yeah, and it's nowhere compared to what it was over the summer last year. It was really getting bad out
There's a
there.
lot of people in the public that are really, interested in this, and they will call, but they'll say, I didn't make a picture, I didn't get a tag number, that kind of thing. When I get those calls, I know from them that I've never seen this car before, they're not in my neighborhood, they just stop and dump stuff, So we've got issues that are gonna have to be addressed, and if it's cameras, whatever. Bulk waste is a touchy thing, and I'll do my best to help, and my office will do the best we can to help to try to get this thing worked out. I think Commissioner Horner and Commissioner Richardson both have been a big help to me for the past, well, him since I started, and Mr. Richardson since, you know, he started working with the highway department. I think we can probably get some of these things a little bit more, get people in a little bit more knowledgeable about the bulk waste situation and what we're facing.
I think you just wonder what people would do if we didn't have pickup. I mean, years ago, as Ms. Gwen said, we took it to the dump. I mean, from the looks of a lot of it, they've had to haul it in something to get it to that point.
I've been in Hamblen County for 37 years. I've lived here 37 years. And I lived in Greene County before that. And we took our household garbage to a satellite site in Greene County the whole time that I lived there. So even though living inside the city, we pay for our waste pickup, it's still, I think it's a blessing to have both. But I just see that bulk waste is being abused by not everybody, but quite a few people. And I'm not, I do know that there's some abusing it, but I'm also thinking that there's probably some out there that's just not aware of what they can and can't place at the road. They think that it's okay if they drive by and see where someone's emptied out a house. Oh, okay, well, I can do that too. Well, the person emptying out the house gets a letter, and this other person just dumps all their stuff out, and it's just a snowball effect. So I feel like that at this point, after 16 months, that some public education is in order.
Anyone else?
You talking about a flyer or a mail out. What would you include in that? How would?
Well, I mean, the regulations are kind of short and sweet.
Okay.
I mean, you know, it tells you what you can and what you can't put out. It's a 2-page of regulations. The second
Okay.
part is
That's
the
what I was
enforcement
wondering.
part. But just the 1-page regulation would be what, you know, and then maybe put a different heading on it or something like that, and just, you know, fold it up and mail it out. And the regulations are pretty straightforward.
Anyone else? If not, thank you, Tommy, for what you do. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you, Chairman Horner. We'll move on now to, yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
I'd like to add something, ma'am, or I'd like to add something for consideration of the commission before we get to calendar and rules. It came to me late this afternoon, something that this body may want to take up. It'll be up to the body if they want to add this or not. But this month, the state legislative body is reconvened, and they're taking up the Education Freedom Act. Many of you know what that is. It's the voucher program. And this body voted last year in a resolution that we do not affirm that. We feel that it could harm our county financially at some point. Right now, I feel that it very well could. It's dangling carrots they're offering, and to get people to sign on. That's my opinion, but it'd be up to this body. The reason I'm coming to you before the calendar and rules, I'd like to present at our January meeting what the school board is taking up tomorrow night. And what we did last time was piggyback on a revitalized resolution that we stand opposed to the Education Freedom Act. And the school board takes it up tomorrow night, pending their, what they passed. We took what they passed and brought it to this commission for adoption as well. And all I'm asking that, you know, would you consider please adding that to your agenda for this body to take up? They may decide, this body may decide not to do that. However, I'd like to present it as such. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Is that the school voucher system you're
Yes, ma'am.
talking about, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Education Freedom Act, it is another name for a school voucher program. And there's a lot of debate going on. There's a lot of information out there. But I personally have seen enough that I believe it will harm this county at some point. It'll harm our public education system, and it'll harm our property taxes. That's what I see down the road. Any others?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we proceed and piggyback with the school board on this.
I'll second.
Is this full commission?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, procedurally, I'm just asking, as far as the committee goes, it would probably go back into public services. We could put it in finance, because it could end up being a financial obligation at some point. However you prefer, whatever commission, or whatever committee you'd like to add that to, I would just like for this body to consider before calendar rules. Excuse me. It was, okay. Chairman Richardson acknowledged it was in his committee the last time.
Public service.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
There we go.
Public service, yes.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
So if we're not in that committee, we don't vote, right?
Correct. Do you want to go back and vote on that now?
What would happen is you can vote to add it to your agenda in calendar rules.
Right.
And it would be placed in public services for the commission meeting.
Very good. Okay. All heads clear? All right, we'll move on to Thomas Doty, Chairman of the Calendar and Rules Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I call the Calendar and Rules Committee meeting to order. Do we have anyone wishing to address this committee? May do so now. Seeing none, we'll move forward. Old business, we have none. For new business, we have a request to add section B to the Public Service Committee, which will be a resolution to, will be a decision by this body whether or not to follow suit with the school board on the school voucher program, pending the decision of the school board. Do I have a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Mr. Horner, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Ahern. Any discussion? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Now, item 4A is a review of the regular calendar items. Again, we have two different changes here. It's under number 9. We had 9C, which is the disaster recovery grant that was voted on the Finance Committee. And then the just added addition to the Public Service Committee, which is the school voucher. With those additions, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Ahern. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Horner. Thank you, sir. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, move forward. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4B is review of the consent calendar items. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Thank you, Ms. Howe. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Horner. Thank you, sir. Do I have any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Doty. Thanks to all our commissioners tonight for your participation and work. Wish you all a safe journey home. Stay safe. Don't slip and slide. This meeting's adjourned.
Take care.
They're just trying to sell everybody that what they're doing is
I was trying to catch it.
good.
Yeah,
Hey, I told myself, I'll sit down and talk to him about it. I'm gonna meet him up next Monday. Yeah. But I said, I told myself,